And Aidan Magee, as always, joins us in the studio. Aidan, good to see you.
Good morning to you both. How are you?
Yeah, well, I'm all right. I think you must be tired because you were on Friday Night Feast last night.
I was, yeah. I really enjoyed it, actually. I thought about staying in the hotel locally, but I thought, no, I'll use the cab and get a few hours quality sleep in my own bed.
Yes,
back in today, but I love GBNews. I love being in here, so it's wonderful.
So how did this, our pot of seeds that we were talking about yesterday, how did it grow and how did it blossom? Because it's being interpreted as really good news for England.
Oh, yeah, it is good news. I mean, look, they've got
Can
this...
Can you explain why, though, in terms of that I would understand?
Yeah, without doubt. Look, I mean, Iran, would you consider Iran to be a top World Cup football player?
I've never heard that it is.
Right, well, they haven't played in the World Cup, I don't think, since 1998.
Right.
They have won their group, though, they've been quite dominant, so I don't think this is quite as easy as people say. They're playing not too far away from home either, because they're playing in Qatar, so possibly used to the conditions.
Yeah.
USA...
It's a problem, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that it is, because the stadiums are so new and so advanced that they'll be quite temperate in terms of the air conditioning and stuff like that. So I don't think they're not going to be playing in 45-degree heat or anything like that. But you never know. Various different variables can affect a team's performance.
Are they the first one we're going to play?
Yeah, we're playing Iran on
Iran's
November the 21st. Yeah, so that's the first game, and that's interesting because we're playing on the opening day of the World Cup. For the first time since 1966. Could be an omen.
Really?
Yeah. Gareth Southgate was asked about it yesterday. He was unaware, of course.
Wow.
But USA is the other side. I mean, yeah, again, we don't think of USA as a superpower in football terms.
But they're good, though, aren't they?
Well, they've got 5 players who play in the Champions League in Europe, including Christian Pulisic at Chelsea, so they're not going to be mugs. We played them in 2010 in the opening game, drew 1-1. We lost against them in 1954, famously, when USA were barely a dot on the footballing map at the time. They're a huge upset at the time. So we've not got a good record against them in competitive matches. So that won't be easy either. And then the third opponent is either going to be Scotland, Wales or Ukraine. I don't really see how Ukraine are necessarily going to play that playoff game against Scotland in June. I think a lot could happen between the next couple of months. But the issue is 18 of Ukraine's squad are home based. Some of them are fighting.
Yeah.
So... They've got to play warm-up games before June. They've even requested that they come to Wembley and play some of our club sides, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, etc. Difficult to organise because you can't expect them to go into a playoff against Scotland having not played for months and months. No. So the winner of that playoff then has to play against Wales. So there's a long way to go. It's a good job this World Cup's happening later in the year because it's the time to do this, but I don't see how Ukraine play that game. I think a lot could happen, and I think it could be a straight shootout between Scotland and Wales. You get Scotland and Wales in a tournament. England have got a good record against both of them, but as we saw last summer in the Euros, Scotland got a draw from Wembley. That's not going to be easy either. So I don't think it's a read-through. It was a group that you would have chosen, but this is the World Cup. Anything can happen. You do see big countries eliminated in early rounds. We've got one of the questions I think you're scheduled to ask me is about the group of, have we got a group of death? Well, intriguingly, Group D is the group of death, rather fittingly. France, Denmark, Tunisia and possibly Peru, Australia or the United Arab Emirates. I remember back in Euro 2012, it was in the height of the Euro crisis, in the monetary crisis, and you had Spain, Italy and the Republic of Ireland in the same group, and it was nicknamed, instead of the group of death, it was called the group of debt.
What do you mean by the group of death, though?
Group of death would be... So normally it's seeded, so you get the strongest side, next strongest side based on their coefficients and their results over the last couple of years. But sometimes you might get a country which didn't perform well in qualifying, but you know is going to be strong at a tournament. So you can get... So, for example, if you look at I think it's Group E, you've got Spain and Germany in the same group. That's presumably because one of them was quite weak in qualifying, but they don't want to face each other in the group stages. They don't mind facing each other in the final. You expect to face Spain there. It's no difference when you get to Wimbledon. You know, you get these players who look at the half of the draw and think, right, who am I going to play here and there? And I mean, they forget they've got to get past the first round first before they start looking at the semi-final. But Spain and Germany in the same group. Japan going to be tough as well. They can sometimes turn up to tournaments. And the other problem with this is there's so many playoffs outstanding that the actual groups are not completely preordained as they would be in previous tournaments, and because there's 32 teams, the quality gets a little bit diluted in the group stages. But nonetheless, it's still going to be a great event.
I wonder how many fans will be able to afford to go out and watch any of this.
I don't know. I've not seen the prices yet. I mean, there's not really a football community in Qatar. I've known people who worked out there for many years, and you know all this stuff from the chief coordinator yesterday about how it's a fanatical football country. Well, they play games over there sometimes. You'd be lucky if you get a man and a dog turning up. So it will be overseas fans. Now, you mentioned the heat early on for the players inside the stadium. They'll be quite temperate. It'll be measured. I don't think you can do that in the middle of the street. So you're going to see a lot of English blokes going out there with kind of red faces, lobsters.
Yeah.
Struggling, not even able to get a beer in most places to kind of cool you down. That's the worry for me. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. We've had loads of concerns over previous World Cups. I was there in South Africa in 2010. There was so many worries about security. I mean, it's the safest World Cup I ever went to.
It went very well.
It went very well, yeah, it did.
Do you think Gareth Southgate's confident then?
Yeah, I mean, a group like that is a huge opportunity. This England side is possibly the best we've had. Certainly, in terms of individuals, it's the best since 2006, when we had Beckham and Gerrard and Scholes and Rooney, all that lot, but they didn't perform. This lot are capable of performing. They've been to a World Cup semi-final 4 years ago. They're the final of the Euros last summer, which was outstanding.
They were very impressive.
They were, and they were very close to getting it. Italy, by the way, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup. Italy beat us last summer. They didn't qualify for the World Cup before that for the first time in their history. They go and win the Euros at Wembley last summer, and they didn't qualify for this World Cup. It's astonishing. Absolutely astonishing.
Does that mean they don't play at all?
No.
There's no such thing as a wild card? They don't get...
No, you don't get a free pass. I mean, they've won it 4 times. They're one of the most successful World Cup nations in history, but that's 2 World Cups in a row they've not qualified. But sandwiched in between was a win over the Euros against England.
It's a weird world sport, isn't it?
It is a weird world. Well, it just mirrors real life, doesn't it?
Technical question, just a quickie, so I can start to understand it as we talk more and more over it. So you've got how many groups at the moment?
Let me see. There are 32 teams, so that breaks down as 8 groups of 4, does it not?
8 groups of 4.
Yes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
And then the winner of each group then play in, what do we call those, quarterfinals or something?
No, it's the second phase.
That's the second. Oh.
So the winner of Group A might play the second place team in Group B. So the idea is that the incentive for finishing top of your group is that you'll play the second best team in the next group, which in theory would be weaker.
Should be a good win.
It doesn't always work like that, and it doesn't. That's the point.
You have successfully melted my brain this morning. Thank you very much.
Imagine how my brain feels.
No. Look, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Sure, thanks, guys. Cheers.